Good morning, everyone. I wanted to give you an update on my watch list. And again, the purpose of doing this is to be able to give you some tips on what to look for. And you get a kind of overview of what I'm watching and observing when I'm looking at my watch list. So I'll begin with the first one on my list, Rama Steel. And you'll see I have two entries here. It says Upstocks entry and Zeroda entry. But actually, the Zeroda entry is really not accurate. This was a stock that had split, and of course, the original price was about 170 rupees, and the price, the most recent price, I believe, is about 40.95. And so I don't really know exactly where my entry in Zeroda is. This is just a guess. The reason I don't know that is because when the stock split, it hasn't shown up in my Zeroda yet. And in Upstock, I took an entry on the same item, just to be able to use a different platform. That's all, just trying out Upstocks in different ways. And so that's why you see that as well. So what am I looking for? Well, of course, our 20/60/200 pattern. The stock price is above the 20-day moving average. The 20-day moving average is above the 60-day moving average. And the 60-day moving average is above the 200-day moving average, indicating an upward trend that seems to be doing pretty good. Another way to identify the upward trend is to notice that the highs are generally higher and higher and higher, and the lows keep getting higher and higher and higher, except in some circumstances like this where it consolidated for a while. But although it consolidated for a while, I keep my eyes on this pattern, the 20/60/200 pattern. And so I'm using multiple indications to give me the idea if it is an upward trend or not. So here's where I am right now. And then the last few days has been sideways. And what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for a breakout from this 46.30 range right there. This is this resistance here. I'm waiting for a breakout from there. Okay, and then if I want to add more, I can add after that breakout. All right, now and here's my stop. Okay, my stop loss is just not only my Upstocks stop, but it can be a stop that I think that would really make sense. Okay, because I'm taking the previous swing low, which is this one. The current swing low would be right here, or you might even say this one here, but the previous one would be right down here, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, might be the swing low. So I would take that. The only thing is that represents a pretty big price range right there. If you calculate how much you would lose, that's like what, 50% or even more. And it's like, why would you place such a huge stop loss? Well, actually, I have two things in view. One option is for me to get out as soon as the 20-day moving average goes below the 60-day moving average. Okay, that's one option I can get out. The other is to wait until it actually hits this stop loss. Okay, we're looking at both of these as possibilities, and let's see how it works out as we take this trend following swing trade. Okay, all right, so that's what I'm looking at right now with Rama Steel. Still going sideways. I want to see what happens today when the market opens. FACT is another one where I had mentioned this one, where somewhere in November, toward the end of November, is when this pattern began. Okay, and so you can see as soon as that pattern began, there's this nice upward movement there. Okay, and then now it's going sideways, but sideways and going down. All right, so what am I going to do? Well, often when stocks go sideways, you can say that they're resting. Here's Rama Steel. Look at this. It's gone this high, and I like that idea of the stock that's just pushed its way up like this, and it's tired, it's taking a rest for a few weeks, and then pushed up again, and it's tired again, and then I'm waiting for the next move up. Now, going back to FACT, same thing, it went up, but here's another factor here that you have to keep in mind, that we are very close to the all-time high. See that? It had gone up to the all-time high and got rejected. So what I have done is I've put a target right here just below the all-time high. Actually, the all-time high is really not exactly right there. The high of this this candle, or the high of this wick right there, is the all-time high. So I just put this up a little bit further so that it's more easier to see. Okay, that's the only reason I put it up higher. So the actual all-time high is right over there. So right below that, I've put a sell order at 385 rupees for FACT. So next time it hits that area right there, I am going to take that, I'm going to sell out of it and get out. Okay. Now, but the only thing is, it's a small, look at that. It's not very big, right? Look at that. Just going from here to the target, it's about 15%. Okay. But that's not bad. All right. 15% is not bad, but that's what I'm looking for. And I'll get out right there. Now, what do you do? Should you always do that? Well, what I'm planning on right now is to get out right before the all-time high. But then, if the stock continues further up, okay, and crosses above the all-time high, the other day somebody had mentioned in the group that Federal Bank had crossed the all-time high. And I mentioned in the group that once it goes above the all-time high, what you want to do is look for something that we call a retracement. Like the next day, a red candle coming back down, and then maybe the following day, a green candle going back up. At that point, the way I look at it is, here is a strong resistance that has been broken. But then it comes back down to test and see if the resistance has become a support. Okay, remember, usually when the resistance is crossed, all right, often that becomes a support and doesn't allow the stock price to go below that any longer, at least for some time. That's quite a high possibility. But then with the all-time high, we know that there's quite a high possibility that it's going to keep getting pushed down, and it may not survive that. That's why I'm getting out right before the all-time high. But if it does break above it, then I'll look for a retracement and a confirmation green candle going up. So that's what I'm looking for with FACT, okay? And the pattern also looks good. Next one is BEL. I had mentioned earlier that this is something that has not worked out well for me, but I'm still in that trade. And here's where we have to make that evaluation. Where do we get out? Do we get out when the 20 goes below the 60, or do we get out when the stop loss is hit? Well, for this one, I'm holding on for the stop loss for right now, and I'll see what happens. Okay, the all-time high is still way up there, and look at that. I put a target right below the all-time high, so I'm kind of hoping on this being a positive move. If it doesn't, and if it continues further down, let it sell out. My stop loss hit, and that's fine. RVNL was something that also had a recent breakout. Look at that, in October is when this pattern, this stock came into this pattern, the 20, 60, and 200. And the 20 went above much earlier. Look at that, okay? And so even since then, it's been on an upward move. So this is what I'm looking for this one. Again, the all-time high is very close. So I've put a target right below the all-time high. I put a target right there. There it is, right there at the all-time high. And next time it goes up, I'm getting out. Look at this. We had 3 green candles going up. And then yesterday, 1 big red candle coming down. All right. So that's kind of a retracement. And then let's see what happens today. If there's a Greek candle going up, and I'm looking forward to getting out at that target. And but if it crosses above, I'll wait a few days to see if there's a retracement to test this resistance, to see if the resistance has become a support, and then I'll wait for a green candle going up. All right, at that point, I will look at the possibility of entering this trade. But when I enter, I would only enter with about 20 or 30% of my of the capital that I wish to deploy for this one. Okay, what that means is that that when I deploy only a smaller amount, my stop loss is also safer, because see, the same stop loss will be, will be followed there. If I get out, if I get in after the all-time high, see, I'm looking at about a 50 to 55% risk. That's huge risk, right? So because the risk is huge, I keep my capital low when I enter. And then once I get confirmation that, yes, it is moving in this upward direction, okay, then I would add more capital, because initially risking 50% of the total amount is too big, okay? But 50% of about a portion of your amount is smaller and more manageable. That's the basic idea that we are following right here, okay? So now if it goes back down, what should I do? Well, I could just get out at the cross where the 20 goes below the 60, or I could wait for the stop loss to be hit. These are two possibilities, and let's play it by ear and see what might be the good possibility. And some of you, if you would like, you can leave a comment and give your idea of what might be a good approach. Star Cement is another one that I'm looking at right here. Look at that. It's been on that trend, that upward trend since September. And then look here, it had gone, the 20 had gone below the 60 at one point. Where was that? In December. All right, and here's my entry. And then soon after my entry, there was a huge drop, and I held on. And but even in that big drop, the 20 did not go below the 60, and I'm holding on right here. And you will notice that I put my stop loss, I'm sorry, my target right before the all-time high again. All right, now that's a huge climb, and I don't know how long that would take to get there. And that's, what is that, about, well, not too huge, right? 26%. Yeah, so let's see how long it would take to get up to 26%. Now this may mean that, I won't be doing a whole lot of buying and selling every day. I'm just looking and watching. I'm really doing nothing but looking. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Okay, the last one is Zomato, and this is the infamous Zomato mess that I got myself into. It's in a horrible position. Look at that. It's exactly opposite of what we're looking for. A stock price below the 20 below the 60, the 60 below the 200. Opposite of what we're really looking for. And I had drawn a trend line, and it broke below the trend line, and doesn't look good at all. Okay, so but I did put my stop loss, and I'm just kind of leaving it there to see if my stop loss will be hit, or if there will be a reversal going back up. We'll see what happens. So these are the ones that I'm in right now. There are 6. And I don't really want to have 6. 4 or 5 is enough. Maybe even 3 is enough. Let's see. For those who are new traders, I'm also recommending that you don't really get into too many trades, maybe 2 or 3 only, so that you have less to evaluate. And also that you wait for the best setups. Only enter when there are the best, most probable, most highly probable setups. Only get into those. Don't get into a whole bunch, okay? Just get into a few very good ones. That's what we're looking at right now. Okay, so here's a look at Nifty, still playing around with the all-time high, and we haven't gotten up there yet. And then I have a few others that I have not entered, but these are future possibilities. So the ones that are my holdings, I will look at it every day. I might spend about 2 or 3 minutes looking at it. That's all it takes, right? That's all it takes, and I might do that a couple of times a day. So it doesn't take me much time, and it's really like, to be honest with you, it's like easy money. Okay, when you have a good setup, a good pattern, and let's keep up with the 60-day challenge and see where we arrive in toward the end of February, and we'll see. Okay, so Hindustan Copper again, it just got into this pattern again, but then it's been going up and down. So we'll see if it's only just an up and down move, but then you notice that this resistance has been broken, and then here's another resistance that has been broken. So I'm very interested to see what happens if this gets reconfirmed and it continues going up. This is a nice looking stock, and look at how the opposite the opposite pattern was there, and now all of a sudden in a few months that had reversed. So this is something that I'm very interested in. I don't have any funds to enter this, and also I don't have any bandwidth to enter. When I say bandwidth, I don't want to be in too many trades. I'm already in 6. That's too much. 4 or 5 is enough for me. All right. India Bulls. India Bulls also has gotten into this pattern in December. And here's what we're looking at right there. Look at that. Look at that. And these are the ones that the all-time high is way up there. We have a long ways to go before we even get close to the all-time high. And the pattern looks fair. Okay, not so great. But what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for a breakout from this resistance 161. Okay, once I get that breakout, then this becomes a possibility for me. My pattern still has to be there. Again, here's a good pattern that just got into that pattern recently in December. And so I am looking for a breakout right here. All right. This is NIAC, a New India Assurance. Okay. So I'm looking for a breakout right here. And the all-time high is very, very far away. And so this is another one that looks interesting to me, but I will look for the breakout. There's another one where the pattern is good. Just recently gotten into that pattern in January, very recent. Okay. And whereas before the pattern was not good, now in a good pattern, and I would wait for this breakout from the 90.20. Once it breaks out from there, then I would look for, see if there's a reconfirmation, and then for an entry. That's Steel Authority of India. There's another one, LIC Housing. Well, let's wait until this resistance is broken, because I want to see if this is just going to be a up and down sideways move. I don't want to enter just simply because this pattern is there. Not only that, but let's cross this. And once this resistance is crossed, all right, I want you to look at the bigger picture. Look at that. Once that resistance is crossed, you will see this long time sideways trend is broken through. Look at that. And so that is something that I'm looking at right there. See, October of 2021. See, even there, okay? It's been in that pattern even from back there. So since it's a long one. Another way to look at that is to go to a higher time frame, like a weekly time frame, and you can see the same thing right there. Here it is, July 2019. All right. And then here, June 2021, these are some resistances right there that would be key for us to watch out for. All right, going back to the daily, and then also let's go to the next one, NFL, National Fertilizers. All right, again, you have this this pattern, and there was a huge move up, and then a huge move down, and then move up again. Look at that. Perfect for people that were taking swing up and down trades. But even with this, I'm looking for a breakout right here. If this breaks out, that will be something that I would be looking as a possible entry. But these are good for your watch list, okay? And I'm not recommending that you buy any of these, but I am recommending that you put it on your watch list to look carefully and to see if if there might be a good possibility in any of these trades. Here's another one, Indian Bank. That's been really good for a while. I took profits on this. It started in last July 2022 is when it started, and the all-time high is what is it, about 20%, 30% away from this resistance. Let's see, more than that, about 40% away. So, but if I enter, I would put the target. I would put a sell order right below the all-time high because we're so close. Okay. And when I say so close, it's still 40% away. All right. Canada Bank is another one that's in a good pattern. And I would look for a breakout from this most recent resistance. And then where is the all-time high? There it is. All right. It's way up there, 815. So let's see. I would just wait and watch this pattern and stay in the trade. Of course, I'm not in the trade. I would only get in once this resistance is crossed. Yes Bank is a bank that has come back to life after a long time. They had some problems, and it's been under huge government regulations. So you will see a long time, after a huge drop. All right, there was a long time sideways move for a couple of years. Look at that, from 2021 onwards. See, you saw that drop there, and it stayed there for a long time. And then only in this last year, it started moving up a little bit. And then here we are in the pattern that we're looking for. And so here's another one, a possibility, and the all-time high is way far, far away. Okay, that's Yes Bank. Bank of Baroda is another one that seems to be in a good pattern, and I'm, I have my eyes on this as well. We're about 24% away from the all-time high, and as you can see, it's trying to break out of this resistance, and so I will see if you get a nice confirmation candle again or not. This is a possibility right there. Bank Baroda. IOC, Indian Oil Corporation, it's not there yet, but it looks like it's moving in that direction. And so this might be something that here's another resistance. If you want to observe where the resistance is, here is the next resistance right there. And so I would be interested in this after this resistance is crossed. All right. Apollo Tire is another one that I'm still watching and observing. Look at that. And I would be waiting to cross this resistance. And of course, the all-time high is way up there. I did draw that up there. And NMDC is another one that is in our pattern. So you got all these nice possibilities for your watch list, okay? And then you put it on your watch list and watch and observe and make sure that you yourself, you're comfortable with entering that trade, okay? Not because somebody else said it, not because it's on this video, but because you feel comfortable by making your own analysis. South Indian Bank is another one that's in that pattern. Here's the resistance at 2190. Look carefully at this, and you can see that the all-time high is way up there. McDowell, all right, is another one, is one that is not doing well. Look at that, it was good, but then it turned south, okay? But it's still on my radar because, because if this if this resistance is crossed, then that might be a possibility. Once that's crossed, the road to the all-time high would be, well, not a whole lot, about 8%. Okay, not bad, but not a whole lot. Okay, McDowell looks interesting. REC Limited, also, it's in a good pattern, all right, but I would wait for this breakout from that resistance, okay. BHEL, the Bharat Heavy Electricals, all right, is another one that seems to be in a good pattern, but wait for the next breakout. All right, Bank of India. All right, Bank India is another one that's gotten recently into this pattern and looks good. Wait for the next breakout. Okay, PFC. All right, PFC is another one that is about 20% away from the all-time high. But if this resistance is crossed and you get a confirmation candle going up, and look at this, if you look carefully, it broke above it, and the next day it wasn't a confirmation candle, but rather it's actually a resistance of a rejection of the high prices. Look at that candle right there. We've talked about this. This is often called like a shooting star, is the name that is often used for this. And so the price tried to go up high. It opened here, tried to go up that high, but it could not sustain. Toward the end of the day, it closed lower, and so this is not a good sign right there. And so this is not something that I would say, oh yeah, here's a confirmation to enter. It is not a confirmation, but it's actually rejection of the higher prices. So you see kind of a dip down further from there. All right. So that's PFC. All right. So I would wait for the breakout and a confirmation on PFC. Look at that one more time. Look at that. So I would look for a breakout, and then maybe a retracement, and then a strong green candle with a confirmation. All right. But even there, you're looking at about 20%. Pretty good. 20% is not bad. VBL, Varun Beverages, close to the all-time high. So what I would do here is I would look for a breakout from the all-time high, and retracement and a confirmation. Okay. Until then, I would not enter Varun Beverages. All right. Godfrey Phillips. All right, there it is. Another one that's too close to the all-time high. The pattern looks good, but it's very close. And here's another one. Pattern is good, but it's so close to the all-time high. I would wait until it crosses over and confirms it. Okay, here's from here onwards. These are stocks that are not in a good pattern right there. ICICI Bank, not good. ITC, look at that. 20 is below the 60, not good pattern. Here's another one that this pattern also is not good. The 200 is between the 20 and 60. We want the 200 on the bottom. That's what we want. Okay. And that also is not good. NTPC is not in a good pattern. You see that right there. The 60 is on the top. We want the 20 on the top. Indian hotels, not good. We want the 20 on the top, not the 60. Again, all right. ACC, all right. Again, same thing here. We want the 20 on the top, not the 60. UPL, all right. A problem here, not in the right pattern. India Cement, not in the right pattern. M&M, it's not in the right pattern. Look at that. And if you notice, I've taken all the ones that are not in a good pattern and put it way at the bottom of my list. There it is. Power Grid, also not opposite. Okay, not in the right pattern. All right, GAIL, GIL, GAIL India, also not in a good pattern. FSL, not good. All right, Bandhan Bank, not good. Nazara, not good. Castrol India, not good. Sun Pharma, all right. Trying. Look at that. Sun Pharma is trying. All right, it's trying to come back up, and but Sun Pharma, if it breaks above this resistance, then Sun Pharma would be a good stock to look at, because once it breaks over, we would also get into our pattern, but then we're very close to the all-time high. And if I were to enter here, that's about 10%, 11%, and the all-time high is very close. Kind of makes me nervous. Voltas, not in a good pattern, and that's it. And I go back to Rama Steel. So basic idea for me is I have the ones that are my holdings right here on the top, and then I put Nifty as kind of a placeholder between those two, and then I go to all the stocks in my regular watch list that are looking good. All of these are in a good pattern. And then from here, ICICI Bank onwards, it is not in a good pattern. And I keep those on the bottom, but I keep watching those at least once a week. Daily, I only watch these, okay? Daily, I only look at these. So it only takes me a few minutes a day. And then every few days, I might go through these, the rest of these are at least once a week, and I will watch and observe what's happening to them. Okay, so here are the ones that I'm holding on to right now. This video is already maybe getting too long, But if any of you have held out so long, thank you so much. And maybe you can help me out by pressing the like button and maybe sharing it with people that you think might be interested to learn how to trade. Here it is, okay? FACT also very close to the all-time high. And this one, BEL, is something that has gone out of the pattern, but I'm kind of waiting to see if I should allow the stop loss to hit. And this one is doing good, waiting for it to go to the all-time high where I have my target. Star Cement also has gone below my entry, but it is still in a good pattern. Zomato, of course, is my infamous messy trade that was totally unnecessary, but I'm still holding on and maybe allowing it to go to my stop loss, or wait until it goes higher to where my entry was, which is way far away. Who knows how long it will take. Let's see what happens to that. Okay, so thank you once again for watching, and I hope all of you will leave a comment below and let me know what you think about these videos. If you would like for me to do something different also, give me let me know, and we can look at different possibilities. Okay. All right. So what's happening here? Let me close this out. Thank you so much. And I just, all right. Excuse me. How do I get out of this? All right. Yep, I'm out of there, and should have a way to close this. All right. Thank you.